Fans, welcome to an edition of Nerd Words here. We're going to talk today about the latest X film, Days of Future Past, which really is kind of X-Men the apology.
Yeah, it was a great improvement over the previous X products, in my opinion, and especially the terrible Wolverine films, which not good stuff. Hopefully you saw it by now. If you've not, you should go to the theater and check it out.
If you've not, you should go ahead and stop watching now, because we're going to do some spoilers this time.
Yeah, of course it's set in both the future and the past. Dystopian future from the comics. The Sentinels have taken over. They're exterminating all mutants. Police state, mutants under siege, the whole 9 yards. And of course the plan is hatched. We must send Wolverine back in time because Wolverine, I guess, is the most popular of the X characters. So, they're going to take away Kitty Pryde's role from the original.
And since Kitty Pryde had never played a significant role in the movies, I mean, Ellen Page plays a good Kitty Pryde, but let's be honest, Wolverine was the center character of all those films.
Yeah, they come up with a reasoning in the film that you'll see if you watch it for why Wolverine's the one that can go. Give Kitty Pryde this new strange power where she can send people back in time, in their minds back in time. I'm not really sure where that came from, but hey, it's what it is. It's phasing through walls and sending people's minds back in time. Basically the same thing.
Emma Frost is a telepath who can turn to diamond.
Well, sometimes you mutate extra. But Wolverine, of course, goes back to 1973. My only point of contention with this, if you're going to send him back in time, I mean, the man's 150 years old. Send him back a little further in time, so you don't have to run right up against this deadline, or you can just keep sending him back in time over and over again. And none of the stuff that happened in the future should be happening if Wolverine's going to alter the past. It's just not. But of course, it's playing out in the future, the story, and it's playing out in the past. Mostly set in 1973, though.
And they all do a good job as far as the actors go. Fassbender is brilliant as Magneto. He really does play well, and Ian McClellan played it well too as old Magneto. But really and truly, the highlight of this film is Quicksilver.
Yeah, Evan Peters, you know him from American Horror Story and a few other things, does a really great job playing completely different characters each season on American Horror Story. Really great as Quicksilver. The most interesting scene in the entire film to me, and the best scene in the entire film to me is, spoiler again, if you've continued watching and not saw it, they're breaking Magneto out of prison, which is in the middle of the Pentagon. And just a great sequence. They come and face a bunch of the Pentagon's guards. They begin firing at them, and then everything stops. And Quicksilver goes into action. And it's just brilliantly, Time in a Bottle's playing in the background, and it's just, excellent stuff. And
the cinematography of that scene, the way they shot it,
I mean, it just gives
it gives you hope for any speed-based hero.
It gives you high hope, and it was done so well. I'm not sure how the Avengers are going to work out Quicksilver's power now, and really it fired a bow across the DC's bow for when they put Flash in a Justice League movie. Who knows whether he's going to be the same Flash in the TV series or not? That's a debate that continues, and probably for another episode of this, obviously. But yeah, X-Men, though, best film to me of the entire franchise was Days of Future Past. I liked the first two pretty well. The third one was okay. I didn't like First Class as much as most people did. As I said, the two Wolverine films were just atrocious.
I don't think either of us actually saw the second Wolverine film.
People I know that saw it said it was just completely abhorrent.
Everyone I talked to told me it's G.I. Joe bad.
I mean, Wolverine's the only major comic film I've never saw before.
You even admit seeing Electra.
Yeah, I saw Electra, saw it in theaters, and it was really bad. But Wolverine, I say, the first one was really bad, and the people I know who enjoy movies and superhero films that saw the Wolverine said it was so bad that it wasn't worth watching, so I trust them and didn't. I mean, But
It,
this,
it is actually the only Marvel film that I know of that I've not seen. 'Cause I also admit to seeing Electra. I even watched the Man Thing movie on Sci-Fi.
oh yeah, you had to watch the Man Thing movie. The Punisher movies, the Nick Fury movie, starring David Hasselhoff. I watched that.
Yeah, actually the '70s Spider-Man stuff's not that bad,
Spider-Man.
and the Captain America stuff is, but it's still better than.
But this one, and it may have been part that I had lower expectations for it, that it seemed so good to me. I'm not 100% certain. I really didn't have that high of expectations. I'm frankly tired of Ian McKellen and tired of Patrick Stewart. So them not being in it much helped me out a lot, and I'm really happy that Apocalypse is going to feature less of them, if maybe probably not even feature them at all. And they're finally starting to move on from the older actors in the series. I mean, those people are fine actors, but I just get tired of Magneto being in every movie.
Right, Magneto's a great villain, but he's not remotely the only X-villain.
The X-villains, they have probably second to Spider-Man, the best rogues gallery in comic books, with Apocalypse, Mr. Sinister, the Marauders, just,
Saber. So I mean, I know Sabretooth's been in on, but
yeah, I mean, it was vastly different versions of Sabretooth, but just huge numbers of villains, and villains that can be done better. Juggernaut
Hellfire
can be done
Club.
much better. Yeah, the Hellfire
which
Club.
are in first class, but still you can do a lot with them.
There's just a lot of villains they have that they can face, that they don't need Magneto and Mystique to be the two main villains in every single film.
Though Jennifer Lawrence is a fine mistake.
Jennifer Lawrence is fine. That's definitely positive on that one. She's the big key in this one, and people are complaining about timeline and continuity errors. I can be forgiving over most of those because they actually erase a lot of bad continuity. And so an article said something about 2023. I did not see that mentioned anywhere in the film, nor did anybody I know that watched it.
I didn't see it.
2023, so I'm not sure where the writer of that article is coming up with that, but.
And you know, credit has to go. Of course, I love him in Game of Thrones. Peter Dinklage was pretty darn fabulous in this.
He usually is. He plays a fine Bolivar Trask. People are saying too some things about how is Professor X alive. Well, if you watched X-Men: The Last Stand after the credit scene, you heard his voice in someone's head, and he's alive.
Was it more McTaggart?
Yeah, more McTaggart. So he was alive at the end of it. So don't be wondering. How
And you also saw that Magneto was regaining his powers.
he was able to flip the chess piece over without touching it. So. You know, it's set years and years in the future, so they had time to recover. It's comic books anyway. Somebody's going to die. No deaths are permanent in comic books. People die all the time.
Yeah, I mean that's just
It's like Supernatural. You know, Dean and Sam.
they literally die all the time.
Castiel, they die constantly throughout the series, and they manage to come back. It's still an excellent show, regardless. And this was a fine film. I give it probably 4 out of 5 stars, maybe even 4.5. So maybe partly due to lower expectations, but
Yeah, I definitely give this one a 4.5
it
star.
exceeded expectations.
But I actually had high expectations for it because unlike you, I really enjoyed First Class. You said you weren't a huge fan of it. I actually really liked what they did with it. Of course, a lot of that has to do with Michael Fassbender as Magneto, James McAvoy as Xavier, and off-camera producer Chris gives it.
Solid 4 stars.
Yeah, I mean we're all pretty highly in agreement with this one, and you know it gives hope again that Apocalypse is going to be.
Well, that was a great stay for the post credits. Of course, it's a Marvel film. They all have one. Spider-Man's kind of got screwed on his when they cut out the actual post credit scene and put the preview to X-Men in, but I guess it'll be on DVD. You can find it online. But yeah, this had the really good first, post-credit scene introducing the next movie, which, as you say, is called X-Men Apocalypse.
No real secret who the villain's going to be there, people.
And Magneto is still going to be in it, and Mystique and all of them. And they said that
Quicksilver is going to have an expanded role.
you will have heroes who join with Apocalypse, and maybe some villains who join against Apocalypse.
And of course, you actually see the Scarlet Witch too. They're obviously not twins in this movie, but you see Quicksilver with his little red-headed sister.
Yeah, I suspect it's a Scarlet Witch anyway.
That would be my guess.
If it is or not. I mean, there were, of course, clues. If you watch, there's clues that Quicksilver is Magneto's son in this one. He mentioned something about his mother saying his father's able to control metals.
Right. So, Yeah, I mean, it's a solid film. If you've not seen it yet, and you kept watching for the spoilers, go see it anyway.
Yeah, it's a fine movie.
Well, fans, that'll about wrap it up for this episode of Nerd Words, and we will see you next time.